this the girl that we've been waiting for?
Let's see if it's a smart fat.
You know.
Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. Guys, it is 36 degrees in Paris today. La canicule, comme on dit. Heat wave, you guys. We're in the middle of a heat wave. Listen, y'all know I love me some heat though, so I don't mind. But it's wow. I just went outside for a little bit of a walk. And I was, my thing is I don't really sweat too much from my body. However, I sweat from my head. So I was like, oh my God, I feel like I have to wash my hair again already. So I'm going to do that tonight at the gym. But wow, the sun is shining, as you can see over there. I'm feeling good. I'm really happy, you guys. I love warm weather. So shout out to this city. I was looking at all the cities I have listed because when I travel, I like to, before I land, I want to see what the weather is looking like in a local place. So I still have all these cities that I was in, for the trip I was just on. You know what the weather is in Dublin? Shout out to my Irish co-reporters. 15 degrees. It's still not summer for you guys. I don't understand it. 15 degrees on the 1st of July. Also, speaking of the 1st of July, today is Canada Day. So shout out to my fellow Canadians. Happy Canada Day to you all. I hope you have a fantastic day celebrating, a safe celebration, and shout out to us. I love my people. Nice to see you, Ramster. She says, greetings from the lowlands. Summer on full blast, fan on, tread lightly. Right? Isn't it the greatest? I love summer as well. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Tadisha. Good morning, Cynthia, Ronnie, Jambalaya, Michelle, Venetia, Alexa, Acacia, Jessica, Paprika, Jen, Ashley's back. Good morning, Erin. Good morning, Lucky. And good morning to all of you watching from the bushes. So nice to see you guys. We've got a lot of show today, per usual, that I wanted to talk about. So let's do a little bit of a rundown before we get into the actual stories themselves, shall we? So Chris Brown, or should I say Fist Brown, seemingly is on the verge of settling a lawsuit over the nightclub brawl that he was engaged in. Remember how he just landed in the UK and he got arrested on his second day there because he skipped out on a warrant from a couple years ago? Well, the person who was involved in that alleged altercation sued him, and it looks like Chris Brown is ready to pay that money to make it go away. We've also got Khloe Kardashian, who is fessing up to some of the plastic surgery and other procedures that she's had done over the years. Post Malone is going through another breakup. There's some problems with the jury in Diddy's trial situation right now. They're deliberating to come to a conviction. And there's a juror who doesn't really understand some of the instructions. So I've got some updates on that. I got an update on McKenzie McKee and Casanio's baby situation. They had twins. The twins were in the NICU, and one is able to go home, but not the other. So stay tuned for that. Rihanna has provided some hints about the gender of her third child that she's currently pregnant with. We're going to talk about how Kenya Moore has never, ever been a real friend to Cynthia Bailey. I've got video proof of that as well, her shading her friend. And then we're going to talk about Rita Ora getting down on one knee and proposing to her husband, Taika. I really want to get you guys' opinions. And shout out to Jaleesa and the rest of my Love Island lovers, because we're also going to talk about last night's episode of the show. And then we're going to wrap things up with a little bit of a Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. So if you find yourself enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. But in the meantime, why don't we dig in with our first story, featuring Christopher Brown. So you guys, TMZ was the first to report that he and his team are in very, very early settlement talks with the guy who sued him over an alleged fight that happened at the nightclub in 2023. The nightclub was in London and it was called Tape Nightclub. And the person who filed the allegations or the lawsuit against Chris Brown is actually the same one that went to the judge and said, hey, can we dismiss this lawsuit, indicating that there might have been some sort of settlement reached in the background. Although I think that they want to keep this quiet. Obviously, Chris, with his long history of violence against, men and women, he doesn't want it to be public knowledge that here he is settling a lawsuit, which, in a lot of people's minds, mine included, means that you're admitting some sort of guilt, right? Especially while he's facing criminal charges for this incident as well. So I think that that's part of the money that this man is going to make off of Chris, right? Part of that money is his silence. So there's that going on, you guys. So I'll keep you guys updated on how all of that goes. But yeah. Very, very interesting stuff. Listen, the more things seem to change, the more they stay the same when it comes to certain people like Chris Brown, right? Deshauna says, good morning. You're putting me in a good mood. You love to hear it. My husband and I lost our rainbow baby boy a little over a week ago. We're taking it day by day, but doing okay. Oh, Deshauna, I am so sorry to hear about your loss. I'm going to be sending you guys all of the prayers, love, and support in the world. And like you say, you got to take it day by day. And I'm really, really hoping that things look better for you guys soon. So sorry, Deshauna. And thank you so much for being here with us. And we hope that this episode and all the episodes that we put out help continue to take your mind off of things and, bring a smile to your face. And good morning to you too, Jaleesa. We were just talking about you and Love Island and how there's going to be our first Love Island USA recap on the morning report, courtesy of you. And good morning, happy Canada Day to True Crime Junkie as well. And hello, Angie, nice to see you. And thank you all so much for all of the love and support that you are sending to Deshauna. Honestly, all of her good vibes, all of her love, and all of our support together. I feel like, they really do come together and create an impact. So please continue to send all of your well wishes and your love and support to Deshauna and her family. Good morning, RL. Good morning, Elisa. So nice to see you guys. So you guys, there you go. Look, when you have money, you're able to get away with certain things, right? And so Chris is seeing that in this situation, but I don't know how that's going to work out criminally, although that typically is the case as well. Criminals with money typically aren't facing the same consequences as other people. Just take a look at the Chrisley family. Just saying, right? Take a look at OJ. Who said that? Now, you guys, why don't we get into the Khloe Kardashian of it all? She saw all of the good PR that her younger sister, Kylie Jenner, was getting for admitting to her boob job and giving somebody who was asking her on TikTok some instructions on what to ask the doctor for, how many cc she's got put in, a little bit over the muscle, a little bit under the muscle. Can I ask you guys, do any of you guys have boob jobs, or are you thinking of getting any? Listen, I feel like I'm pretty happy with what I've gotten, everything. But sometimes these things look so cool where you're like, you know what? Hell yeah. Maybe I don't know. But I really, Kylie got a really good rec. She really got a good job. So, learning all that, I was like, let me take some notes and put it on the side just in case it ever comes to that. But is it true that you really have to, even today, or has the technology changed? Do you have to really change this stuff every 10 years? Because that's the thing that would really turn me off to it, because I don't want to be going to the surgery every decade, you know what I mean? Especially as you're getting older and older, listen, recovery is rough, So I don't see that for myself. And I'm also kind of concerned about breast implant illness. Is that still a thing that goes on? Are people still suffering from that sort of thing? Just curious, just thinking out loud. Anyway, Khloe wanted some of that good PR for herself. And she also wanted to distract from the fact that she and her family, right? So there was Kim, there was Chris, there was Kendall, there was Kylie. They all went to Venice, Italy for that marriage between Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, and all of them are being dragged. People are screaming, eat the rich, like they do all the time, right? And so this is a distraction from that, you guys, okay? Just saying. Anyway, here's Khloe giving you advice on what she's had done. She says that she has had a nose job by this doctor, so now you know which doctor not to go to. She's had laser hair removal for her hairline and everywhere else. She got Botox and Sculptra, where her face tumor was removed in her cheek. She had soft wave laser for skin tightening, Filler in the past, but not over the past few years. Okay, girl, your lips say otherwise. Your chin says otherwise. Your cheeks say otherwise. Lost 80 pounds over the year. Tag your Ozempic. Collagen baby threads underneath my chin and neck to snatch the jawline. Salmon sperms facial, girl. Okay. Regular facials, peptides, vitamins, and daily skincare. In 2025, there are many other things we can do before surgery, but when it's time and if I choose to, I know some great doctors. Listen, girl, why don't we talk about those BBLs? Why don't we talk about that tummy tuck? Or are we still not going to go there? Did she even mention a boob job? She didn't mention a boob job. Didn't she get a boob job too? Didn't they all get boob jobs? Just saying. Listen, this is the thing about celebrities. They'll always be half honest with you, right? They'll be honest about one thing, but not the other. And then you know, a lot of people, the unjaded, the uninitiated, you know, they fawn all over like, wow, they're so open, they're so honest. No, there's still some stuff that's missing here, you know, that they can come out and talk about when they're ready, right? Jaleesa, yes, Kylie was talking about it on TikTok. It went viral when she did because people were like, whoa, she's telling the girl, her doctor, how many cc's. She said it was like a hybrid between over the muscle, under the muscle. I will say that this was probably about like 3 weeks ago. So it was very, very recent. Gwen says, I've thought about a reduction for sure, but I love my girls. Listen, you know what? Hell yeah, right? It's so hard. I feel like these decisions are so permanent. And once you have like a certain size, like you're just so used to it. It's one of the first things you see every day. So just like having that change would be so like shocking. You know what I mean? Minnie says, I had a double mastectomy due to cancer, but yes, my plastic surgeon says I have to replace them every 10 years. Minnie, you are such a warrior. Oh my God. You know, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but kudos to you for whooping cancer's behind and coming out with a sweet rack. Do you like them? Do they look good? Like you're happy with it and everything like that? Wow. Okay. So it's still a thing too, that you have to change them every 10 years. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I think for me, that's what kind of makes me nervous because honestly, recovery is tough, right? When you're coming out of surgery, like it takes you down for a little bit and I don't want to be down for the count. Like, so I'm a little nervous, but you know, sometimes these things look so good that you're like, you know what? Hell yeah, it's worth it. I don't know. Paprika says, no, Grace, don't waste your money or time on the recovery. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Paprika. That's so nice of you. Like sometimes you just, you know, you're like, I want my boobs to be the first thing that enter a room. Hello. He says, I like plastic surgery in theory, but me personally, I'm not getting cut open just so people could. No, it's not about people thinking you look good. It's so you think you look good, right? It's about you. So like, you know, if you're happy and everything, do not do it. Never do it for other people ever. For example, for me, when I did my nose, I've been obsessed with that since I was a kid, you know? So like for me, it was like, hell yeah, you know, like I like, you know, admiring it when I'm doing my little videos and whatnot too. And for the boobs, like, I feel like I've got a great set, but like, I would like an exaggerated set, maybe like, I don't know. So this says my aunt has a boob job in 2010 and hers are great still. Never touch them up and down. Wow. 15 years in. Good for her. Good for her. RL says, I just had one for medical reasons. And yes, the doc said to replace them every 10 years. Wow. Okay, you guys, listen, I'm really liking getting you guys's takes and like, you know, people that you guys know in your family or your friends or whatever, or you yourselves and, you know, your experience with this stuff. I know a girl, she got a nose job and a boob job at the same time, right? And so we were following each other in our journeys and whatnot. And she had her boobs taken out within a month. She said she instantly felt like just her body was fighting against this like these foreign objects in her, like the silicone, and so she had to take it out like as soon as she could have. So I think for her it was like 3 months or something, but like she really, really could not stand it instantly. As soon as she woke up, like she was freaking out about that. Erin says Sammy Sheen just got her implants out. Wow, after being sick for 2 years, ever since she got them. Damn. You know what that kind of reminds me of? That kind of reminds me of, who is that? The Housewives of Beverly Hills, Yolanda Hadid. A lot of people said that her Lyme disease stuff was most likely breast implant illness. And a lot of people were saying that about Wendy Williams as well. A lot of people were saying that, you know, when she was having all these issues, we know she has Graves' disease and lymphedema and stuff, but some people were saying, listen, maybe your implants that you've had since how long she had them, since the 90s, never changed them. Maybe it has something to do with that as well. Ramster says, Kong and good PR, let her apologize to her sister's friend who allegedly kissed her trash baby daddy. I do wonder if she apologized in private, because that really was so dirty of her to do to such a young girl, especially knowing that her man was trash and he was always going to cheat. And he just, she went through all of that, ruined her reputation for what? To take him back and for him to do it again a million times over, please. Right? And exactly, Jaleesa and RL, she is being disingenuous. She's not telling the whole truth, the full truth. This is selective. And again, she's just trying to distract you from, them going to that wedding that everybody is getting slammed for. And yes, me, shout out to you, Hot Girl Summer. There you go, Hot Girl Summer. That's the thing. Listen, now I'm like feeling good about wearing crop tops for the summer, but it's the boobs. I'm like, wow, if I had like big boobs too to go with this. Anyway, let me get off this topic before I start booking an appointment. Anytime, Deshauna, we're so happy to have you here, boo. We are sending you a big, big, big virtual hug. Caroline says there's such a thing as exactly. So I'm kind of nervous about that overall. And yes, Jaleesa, please tell your aunt to stay on top of it, to offer. It might have something to do with that. Now, you guys, I know quite a few of you are Post Malone fans. I think, Jaleesa, you're one of them. Tadisha, I don't think you like Post Malone, though. I think you were saying some shade the last time we talked about it. So Post Malone, he had like a fiance and his baby mama, right? They were together for a couple of years. They were engaged and everything. And then he breaks up with her in December. And then by January, he pops up with this new girlfriend of his. Her name is Christy Lee. Well, come to find out, they're already broken up. They only lasted about 5 months, which, honestly, I don't feel bad for him after the way that he did his ex-fiance and baby mama. Like, I think it is so cruel to leave somebody that way and then to instantly go public with the next person. And it kind of low-key looks like you were cheating as well. If the distance or the time between your breakup and your debut with your new person is about a month, right? Because typically, especially if you're a celebrity, you kind of keep things low key. You're not introducing these new people that you just met, that you just started dating, to your family, friends, right? As regular people within a couple of weeks, normally, right? And if you're famous, you're especially not trying to do this publicly that soon. So to me, the fact that he did that soon, it felt like he was trying to be petty to his ex-fiance and baby mama. And it felt like he might have been creeping around on the low. So that did turn me off from him a little bit. Listen, the only really thing I know about him is I like him in Levi's jeans with Beyonce. At first, I didn't like the album Cowboy Carter. I was like hating on it hardcore, with the exception of Levi's jeans. But now it's like one of my favorite albums of all time. I listen to the whole thing at least once a week, right? But at the time, that's all I really know him from. I know he has this song where he says something about G-Wagon or whatever, but that's about it. So listen, good for you, Post Malone. Listen, if you were playing dirty with this girl, I'm not surprised. What is it that expression? You cannot build a happy home on the land of another person's tears. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to your breakup. Maybe you can get your ex-fiance back. I don't know. Are you guys feeling Post Malone? What do you think about him? Do you think he cheated on his ex-fiance with this Christy Lee chick? And for those of you who are wondering, Christy Lee is a stylist. Oh, and you know what? Speaking of dating people, listen, you know how yesterday I told you I was really nervous because I had this like date? My channel members already know. I spilled the tea to them yesterday. So if you want the full details, feel free to become a channel member. However, I will give you guys the overview. I had no reason to be nervous, you guys. You know why? Because this man was lying about his age. So this whole time I was like, wow, we have this like great connection. We connected so well. Like, this is going to be so cool. Listen, he looked good in person. He looked even better than online, right? However, he lied about his age by a substantial amount. And then he admitted some other information that's very important information to know, right? So I'm like, wow, like I spent the whole day stressing, for nothing. Anyway, just so you guys know how my adventures are going. Just so you guys know, Ronnie's not, listen, I don't really see it either. This is the thing. For men, it's so I don't know why women make it so easy for men to be considered attractive. No offense to Post Malone, but like for a woman in Hollywood or like to be considered attractive or to be fawned over, she has to be damn near perfect. But then like people go and put like Post Malone. They put, what is that guy Lip from Shameless? Right? Or that guy, that chef guy, whatever his name is, Jeremy Allen Green or whatever. They'll put up Keanu Reeves. They'll put up Pedro Pascal. I'm sorry, but like, what is wrong with us that we're hyping these people up, right? Like, it's so crazy to me, but I digress. Listen, I could talk about this all day and I don't want to drive you guys nuts, but I get it, Ronnie. I'm the same way. I really, truly do not see it. Good morning, Shemdem. It is so, so nice to see you, boo. And it's looking like you guys aren't feeling him either. Listen, I get it. And I don't even know his music like that. I know one song he did with Beyonce. I have like maybe a little bit of baseline passive knowledge about one other song, and that's it. Good morning, Allie. How are you doing today, sunshine? So nice to see you. Yeah, Acacia, I do think he was cheating. I do. I'm sorry. I do. And I'm sorry, Jaleesa. Yeah, at first I didn't get it. I didn't get the vision, but now I really think it's one of the best albums of all time. Like it's definitely one of my top 3 Beyonce albums as well. Allie says you cannot, exactly, period. Exactly. Listen, he got his karma. And I'm sorry, Jaleesa. I'm sorry. I know. But listen, I accept. J'assume. I admit. But I've changed. China says, hi, Grace. How you doing? The braids are looking amazing. Thank you. They're about a month and a half in. I got to take them out soon. But I just love how easy it is to have braids. Just saying. And yes, Jaleesa, I do think that Lala Short might become a thing. They were flirting hardcore in their podcast crossover. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announced that they had hooked up or that they might even be dating or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't see her choosing him as a stepfather to her children. Like, I don't think that would be a wise choice personally. Yep. And I agree. He's like a white Lil Wayne. I don't get it, y'all. But here's the thing. Some people find Lil Wayne hot. They used to hype him up too. I'm telling you, men, they don't even have to look like they wash their ass. And some women will be like, wow, he's so hot. Really? Okay, right. And I know, Tadisha, I said, you know what, please. And it wasn't even like a year or two, guys. Like, he was talking like half a decade. Like, anyway, listen, I put the whole ordeal in my channel membership. I was giving them the live updates, including when I came home and like was making myself a little thing. I was like, listen, y'all, let me tell you how this went. Dating is not for the faint of heart, let's just say. And neither is this Diddy stuff, you guys. Perfect segue. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update about what was going on with the Diddy trial. Juror number 25 is described as not being able to follow the judge's instructions. That doesn't mean that this person is being unruly on purpose. It just means that this person genuinely did not understand and wanted to have like the technicalities explained to them about what the judge is asking for when it comes to deciding whether or not he wants to find Diddy guilty or not. This is a very, very, very meticulous person. And so Diddy's defense attorney, Mark Agnofilio, suggested telling the jury that it's still early in the process. They're just getting started. So relax, calm down, just discuss a little bit more, and then later come back, right? With if they're still having any kinds of issues, it's too early, right? And so the judge, however, instructed both sides to confer upon a response. So that is the prosecuting attorney, and that is the defense attorney as well. So meanwhile, the prosecuting attorney, Maureen Comey, suggested to the judge that he tell jurors that it's important to not include any information about what is going on in the jury room. So we do have a little bit of information about who this juror is. Of course, we don't have specific details. However, we know that juror number 25 is a 51-year-old gay white man with a PhD in molecular biology who has studied veterinary science. He means business. This is an academic person. This person is not going to just say whatever to go along or get along or whatever. This is somebody who crosses their T's and dots their I's. Listen, I can respect that. Again, like I told you guys, TMZ is bought and paid for, right? They're in bed with Diddy. So they keep on slipping this information that tries to paint the image that Diddy's going to get off completely, right? So they slip this in ever so gently into their story. They say, listen, this seems to indicate that the juror may be leaning toward a not guilty on one or more of the charges. No, it just means that the juror is unclear about something and wants clarification. Harvey, whatever your last name, Levin or whatever. Like, why is he just jerking Diddy off so badly? Like, we get it. You get the inside scoop and whatnot, but like, you should not be throwing your integrity and your reputation out the window just for this inside scoop. You guys get the inside scoop from so many celebrities as it is. You could have gotten it in a different way. So I really, really hate that they're going down this route. I find it to be a little bit shameful and shameless on their part. I do have another update for you guys in regards to the situation that I wanted to share. The jury did also ask the judge about a rug distribution detail. So they did go back for a second time to the judge for a clarification on something else, right? And so around 4:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday, Diddy was brought back into the courtroom by federal marshals, according to TMZ. And then the judge announced that Diddy had received 2 new notes from the jury, right? And so the first note, in it, they were asking for clarification on the racketeering related count. Quote, if an individual asks for a controlled substance and the person hands it over, is it distribution? Which is a fair question. And the defense and prosecution attorneys both told the judge that they wanted to weigh in on the note. And the judge said that the second note was a statement. And so that was about the juror number 25 not really understanding some of the instructions here as well. So that's a little bit of an update on what's going on. So for those of you who are a little bit curious about what exactly these jury instructions look like, TMZ does have a copy because, again, they are they are in bed with Sean Demon Combs, right? And listen, we're going to keep him locked up. I forgot to tell the guards. Should we bring him out? Should we bring him out or not? I forgot to tell the guards. Let's bring him out. Guards! So voila, this is a copy of what the jury is currently debating on, right? So the verdict sheet, United States of America versus Sean Combs, the defendant. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy. How do you find the defendant not guilty or guilty? If and only if you find the defendant guilty of count 1, which types of racketeering acts do you unanimously find were involved in the offense? So were there acts involving kidnapping, arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, sex trafficking, transportation for purposes of prostitution, or drug distribution? I personally think that they're not going to say yes to everything. I think that they are going to say yes to witness tampering, potentially forced labor, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution. And it looks like they're leaning towards rug distribution as well, based off of that question. So I think that they're going to say yes for about 4 or 5 of those. What about you guys? Where are you guys at when it comes to that one particular segment? And we are going to go over the other segments as well. Okay. And so Zoe says, I think they will find Diddy guilty. I'm really hoping. Same here. Aaron says, I also heard a reason for the juror claiming they can't follow instructions could be that they can't separate their emotions and feelings about the evidence. Ooh, from evaluating the letter of the law. I'm interested in that because I thought it was the opposite. I thought this person was just very, very like pragmatic and kind of like anal, right? And analytic and whatnot. Tanisha says, I think Diddy will be found guilty on some charges, but not all. And I think so too. Anna, Ireland. Hey, Ireland. Girl, I saw it was only 15 degrees in Dublin today. What is going on? When does summer start for you guys? That's crazy. We're not that far from you, and we're 36 degrees, boo. Zoe says it's absolutely still considered distribution. So if that's the case, then I think that they're going to say yes and find him guilty on that as well. Do they only need to find him guilty on like one of these things being listed here, or like a certain amount, I wonder? Because if it's only just one thing, and even if it's just the rug distribution, he's done for on that. Ali says, see, this is why I never trust anything that comes from TMZ. They've paid, yep, they're paid for it and might as well have been in Diddy's hotel room. Exactly. I'm very disappointed in them. I've always loved and trusted them as a source. But when it comes to this Diddy thing, no, I'm keeping one eye open with them. Absolutely. You cannot trust TMZ when it comes to this case. They have good information, but they're very biased and they're trying to influence the way you think about it. We can never forget it, Kate, ever. We only have a certain amount of time to keep using it too. Well, listen, unless he's found guilty. If he's found guilty, listen, anytime we talk about Diddy, we're bringing that up. And I agree, RL, absolutely as well. Ali says, I want to go to, I want to go island hopping this summer. Keep them locked up so I can stay safe. Allie, you're hilarious. I love that. Kate says 2 counts for racketeering. Yeah. Also, this is where the counts come in. Thank you, Kate. It's 25 here, and I hope it stays that temperature. 25 is comfortable, a lot more comfortable than 35. Listen, I wish I were in Nice right now, right? Somewhere with a beach, or if I were back in Mallorca so I could be swimming afterwards. Oh, Lord have mercy. But listen, I can't complain. Much better than winter. And so there's something else that says, if and only if you find the defendant guilty of count 1, did the pattern of racketeering activity include X trafficking? Wow, not Cassie getting like a full-blown, not a shout out, but like, wow, like her whole, like her own thing. Wow, this is the first time I'm truly reading it. So I'm kind of blown away by this. So let me reread that. If and only if you find the defendant guilty of count 1, did the pattern of racketeering activity include X trafficking of Cassandra Ventura? I think they're going to vote yes. Do you guys see it? I see a yes there. Personally, if I were a juror, I would say yes. If and only if you find the defendant guilty of count 1, did the pattern of racketeering activity include the X trafficking of Jane, the Jane Doe? So that one, I'm leaning towards yes too. Because these people, like, they're the ones who experienced this. They came out, they shared their story, and it really lines up with what X trafficking can be, right? They said they were doing this against their will. They were rugged, all sorts of things, right? Now, count 2. X trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. How do you find the defendant? Guilty, please, Lord. Guilty. Guilty. Count 3. Man act transportation of Cassandra Ventura. What is the man act of transportation? I don't know. How do you find the defendant? Guilty or not guilty? Y'all let me know. So to me, I think he's going to be guilty. Honestly, I kind of low-key think he'll be guilty of like everything. Almost everything. Everything but one, maybe. We'll just say, right? I should. The way I'm in love with that island, RL, the way I am in love with that island, honestly, I low-key want to. That place was heaven on earth. If you guys ever get a chance to go, and if you've already been, go again. Ali says this will allow for more of a chance for him to be seen as guilty. I agree. Guilty. It looks like we're all on the same page. Guilty, guilty, guilty. You're done. You're done for. Malone says they should not have included that racketeering because he would use it towards his appeal. Really? Why do you say that? Because some of the things, like some of the details they were asking for, in like, you know, the subtext, like the rug distribution, the witness tampering and stuff, he was like, and I think they have very clear evidence of him doing witness intimidation and tampering. So I think they've got a pretty good chance. What are the odds Diddy is found guilty? So now that I have this sheet, I'm going to give it to ChatGPT and see what my girl thinks. I call her Chatty. I want to see what she thinks, right? So, you know what? I don't even know what she's talking about. She's talking about something else. Hang on. I'm going to download the PDF and I'll get back to you guys on that a little bit later. We already did her overall on everything else, but now that we have the overall PDF, I want to know what she thinks about it with these specific counts and everything listed out. Now, on to our next story, you guys. I just want to make sure I'm going in the correct order. McKenzie. Remember how McKenzie and Cassano, well, McKenzie just gave birth to their twins? Well, I've got an update for you guys. It's a happy update, but I'll call it more so a bittersweet update because only one of her twins is able to come home. No, on this. Only one of her twins is able to come home right now, but not the other, right? So this is an update that she posted to her Facebook that I wanted to share with you. It says, and I quote, "What do you mean you're sending me home without my sister? This is the hardest part of the twin NICU life. My heart is so happy to have my baby home with me and so crushed that my other baby is being left at the hospital. They went from being in my belly together to separate crib across the room, now completely apart. But one day, very soon, they will be side by side once again." I do have to say that I empathize with her and Cassano 1,000,000% and with their babies as well, because this, I think, is something that like has an impact on their systems and on their bond as twins, right? I'm not saying that this means that they're not gonna have this like optimal bond as twins or whatever. No, but they've just always existed together, right? And so when you're out in the world and then you're separated almost immediately, you know, in the separate NICU cribs that she's talking about, then after that, your brother goes home and you're still in the hospital. I do think that this has underlying effects on them. And I think that this is something that could be considered distressing to them already. And so it makes me very, very sad for the children and for them as well, having to go through this with their children as well. It's very, very sad. And so on the flip side, I do have to say that I'm happy that one of their daughters is able to come home. But, you know, again, it is a very bittersweet thing. You know, on the one hand, okay, we can exhale with this one, but not with the other one yet, right? Malone says they should have, we talked about this one. Yeah, I'm really curious to know what you think about it. Venetia says guilty as well. Ali says he used that white boy as a mule. Why didn't he come up? I thought he would be used as a witness or something, right? I thought he was a bargaining chip. Malone says because Sunny from The View said the racketeering is a weak one. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm gonna have to go and find that clip because I want to know a little bit more about why she's saying that. Thank you so much for bringing that up, by the way. I call Siri B in the box. Damn, not even Jack in the box, B in the box. Or also the babies fare better when together in same crib when healing. That's what I think as well. I think that they really, really, truly need each other. And so hearing about this makes me sad. Listen, and I don't want people to take this in a different way. Okay, because sometimes people do that. You can say something so innocuous and then people will like make it into something it's not, right? And hi, P, hey P, nice to see you. I'm gonna try to pronounce this right. Pigravit. Hi Pigravit, nice to see you. And hi Bree Meeks, nice to see you as well. So this is what I want to say, you guys. I watched that documentary on Netflix on the Unabomber, as you guys know, because I like to compare Ryan Edwards to the Unabomber when he left his hair out like that. And one of the things that they talked about that was like something that was like fundamentally like that broke his psyche almost was how back in the day when children were sick, and I'm not talking about like, you know, preemies like McKenzie's babies, right? Like this is when you're already like, you've already bonded with your parents for years or something like that, at least a year or something. Something happened to him. He got sick and he got put in the hospital. And at the time, parents could only visit for like an hour a day or something like that, right? There was this big separation. It was sudden and it was brutal for him. And that damaged him for life. And they feel as though that led to, you know, where he's at now, right? So I'm not saying that this is, you know, going to have Unabomber consequences for the twins. Not at all. All I'm saying is that these separations, especially so abrupt and especially with twins, like that makes me very sad. It feels like a very, very brutal thing to do and to go through and whatnot. So it makes me very, very sad. Okay. Again, not comparing to the Unabomber, just saying, you know, it makes me sad. It feels, you know, very brutal for these poor little babies. Good morning, Betty. Nice to see. You're not a petty Betty though, are you? Nice to see you, boo. And yes, I'm so happy I was able to say it. Thank you for letting me know that I said it right. Ali says, my friend has 2 sets of twins, and both times one remained in the hospital while one was allowed home. Those twins are thick as thieves. Thank God. I'm really happy to hear that. Really, really happy. Jaleesa says they're fraternal twins. They don't even know the other. Damn. But they were in the same womb, even if they were fraternal, right? Like they were in the same womb. I imagine they were probably holding hands in the womb and stuff. And like, honestly, I don't know. How cool would that be, having a womb mate? I'm kind of jealous of twins, especially identical twins. You know what's really freaky to me though? The like identical triplets or quadruplets. Like that would be really fun, like really freaky and really fun. Why don't we get into Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, you guys? So I accidentally played this clip earlier, but please forget that you saw it. But I have an update from Rihanna, kind of an update anyway, about what's going on with her third pregnancy. Is she having a boy? Is she having a girl? What is she going to name this baby? She kind of teased us a little bit about that at a movie premiere, and I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. So
Is this the girl that we've been waiting for?
Let's see if it's a Smurf that.
You know.
No.
You know. You know.
Could be a Papa Smurf.
Really?
Who knows?
But an R name?
It's always going to be an R name.
Okay.
That's the one thing me and Rocky don't fight over.
Donc, voila, another R name. She's already got, what are these kids' names anyway? She's got Riot Rose, and I think I forgot what the other one's name is. Damn. And here I thought I was a Rihanna fan. What's her second child's name? And this is in line with what her family has always done, right? Her name is Robin Rihanna Fenty. She's got a brother named Rory. So she really is keeping the family tradition alive. Ali says, so they only, so fraternal, they have the different sacks too? Oh, okay. But it's kind of like putting a sheet up, right? You know the other person's there, don't you? Kind of like bump up against it? No? RL says, I'm a fraternal twin. I definitely did know my twin existed and felt their absence, like a part of me missing. That's what I imagine it feels like, being like a twin and then being abruptly separated. Bree says, my nieces are twins and they're so hilarious and chaotic. Oh my God, I bet they are a handful. Oh, so cute. And thank you guys, Riza. Okay, yes. You know what's funny? I like the name Reza, like the Persian name that they have, because I heard it first on Shah's Sunset. Then I had a colleague named Reza, and I was like, wow, I really love this name. So Riza is a really, really cool name. Okay, so Riot Rose and Riza are the names. I'm really curious about this. And I do get a feeling, I don't know about you guys, do you think that her third one's going to be a girl? I get the feeling that it's a girl, and I really hope it's a girl. I got to say, I have a bone to pick with Rihanna, and I complain about this all the time, but why are these ladies, right? She is such a beauty. She's glowing. She really is. Why are these ladies with these massive empires, right? Who, and you know what? Good for her for not marrying that man. She shouldn't, right? But why is she giving these children his last name? What is this man's last name anyway? Like, I'm sorry, but it's unremarkable. Nobody knows, right? And you're Robin Rihanna Fenty. You've got Fenty Beauty, Fenty Skin, Fenty Hair, Savage by Fenty. Everything is Fenty. You have built this name so massively, right? And then you're going to go give birth to your boyfriend's kid and give the kid your boyfriend's last name. And you built a Fenty empire. If that were me, I would be so pissed at my mom. Really? I'm changing my name to yours. Are you kidding me? Are you like, at least hyphenate it. Put Fenty in there somewhere, right? Like I always say, I really like the way that Latin Americans do it or Hispanic people do it, like the book last names. Like, this drives me up the wall. Even when Kourtney Kardashian was doing this with Scott Disick, I was like, what is a Disick? What is a Disick, dude? Like, you are a Kardashian. Act like it. Give your child your name. That is a name that is going to live on forever. That is a name for history books. Love them or hate them. They are historical people. The way that they have managed to monetize to that level, just existing, is incredible. It's huge. It's groundbreaking, right? Yet your kids, you give them the name Disick. Okay. Who's this? Who? Please. Yes, and thank you. Sweet bonjour, Riza and Riot. Tadisha says, I feel like Rihanna is having a girl. Yeah, I think so too. She's having a girl this time. Please, Rihanna, have a girl for the Fenty Beauty empire. Humble Y says they can use mirrors to help. Really? Okay, that's really sweet. I didn't know they did that. That's really cool. Jaleesa says they're in the same womb, but they don't know the other is there. Identical twins are completely different. Okay. And here I was this whole time thinking that they were like, sharing the sack and everything. Okay, you learn something new every day. Oh, she says, right. Yeah, I think he's going to be a handful probably with a name like that because I do believe in that sort of thing as well. Ramster. Gwen says, Grace, the man act is about transporting girls for ex-trafficking purposes. Oh, okay, listen. Lock him up already. He's going to be found guilty on that for sure. And Sweet Bonjour, I love the way you did that. See, I like that. Listen, I love that. I'm all for it. And okay, so look, what is this? Your last name is Fenty. You've got a Fenty billion-dollar empire, and you're giving your children the last name Mayers. What is a Mayers? It's so, listen, no offense to the Mayers out here, but like, what, you know what I mean? Like, really? The kids should be Fenties. My God. Hey, Gaming. Nice to see you, boo. It's been a while. How are you doing? I think Kourtney gave them Scott's last name because she thought she was going to marry the man. Oh. But here's the thing. She didn't even want marriage. Kourtney didn't even want marriage. That's the gag. And that man was cheating on her left and right. You're going to cheat on me and I'm still going to try to get married to you and give my kids your unremarkable last names, please. And I'm from the dynasty, the Kardashian dynasty. Never. Please. I want my girls to be freed from the shackles of the patriarchy one day. This ain't it. But again, I'm happy she's not marrying this man. She shouldn't. Anyway, y'all, why don't we get into Kenya Moore and how Kenya Summer Moore has never been a real friend to 50 Cent Bailey. And you know what? Y'all know I'm a Kenya apologist, right? I know she's not a great person, but I'm a Kenya apologist. However, when it comes to her friendship with Cynthia, she's always disgusted me in that regard. Like the way she treats that girl for no reason at all is weird. Like, honestly, you guys, sometimes your enemies are closer than you think, you know, because Cynthia really sees this girl as a friend. She treats this girl as a friend. But Kenya, I don't know what she has against Cynthia, but she treats her like dirt, truly like dirt. Okay, so take a look at this interview that she gave where she threw her friend under the bus. You know, she should be ashamed of herself for this. Take a look,
size.
you guys.
They make your size by your size. Okay? Okay? And first of all, the husbands were always supposed to be a supporting character. Someone that lifts their wife up, listens to their conversations, has feedback. You know, we get it. Be the husband. Okay? Don't be the bitch. Let's take a moment to reflect on the husbands who stirred the pot, stirred the drama, and occasionally stirred our patience, okay? Peter Thomas, the OG man with the mic. Now, Peter, let's keep it real. Peter was always far more interesting than Cynthia. We get it. We get it.
My God.
Y'all, is that not the truth? Y'all know that is the truth. Cynthia's not the one that is pulling focus. Peter's pulling focus. That is just the truth. That's my opinion. Okay, you don't have to agree with it. I'm not being a hater. That's what I feel. Peter was always very interesting. You wanted to know what Peter was going to say, when he was going to say it, because he had no filter. And their dynamic was very interesting because he clearly was an alpha male with a big opinion and loved the spotlight. Okay, so we have Peter Thomas taking first place.
There you go. Just dragging your friend like that. Like, it's kind of almost seeming like she's mad that Cynthia, despite being let go as a full-time housewife, is still making her way across the Bravo universe. She was on 3 shows this year, you guys. 3 different Bravo shows, and they still love her. It looks like they're going to bring her back as a friend of next year, or maybe even back as a housewife. I don't know. But they love her and they want to continue using her. And Kenya is low-key hating on that. Like, why would you say that about your friend? You can hype up her no good, dirty D scamming ex-husband without saying, oh, he's so much more interesting than her. Nobody was checking for her. People were checking for her husband. Like, that is not okay to be saying as a friend. I've always thought she was a terrible, terrible frenemy to Cynthia. She's always looking to undermine her. She's always looking to publicly humiliate her. We saw her try to ruin Cynthia's engagement on purpose. We saw her try to humiliate Cynthia when Cynthia announced that she was launching her wine cellar, and she started trying to quiz her in front of people and make her look stupid. Like, Kenya, oh my God, I'm sorry. I think I have to get off of the Kenya bus. Right. And I was never like a stan or anything. I just, I like beautiful, elegant people. Right. And so I really like that about her. But just her as a person, I'm sorry, but I typically think that villains are just playing a role for TV. But the more she speaks, the more I'm like, no, I think that that's who you are. And it's very sad. So now we're going back a little bit to the topic of big, powerful celebrity women from these big dynasty names that they've built and whatnot, giving their children their boyfriends' last names, and their boyfriends having these kind of run of the mill, not really building anything huge for themselves, right? To why you think that were a reasonable decision. So Tanisha says Toni Braxton hyphenated her children's last names. They're Dunham, Braxton Lewis, and Diesel. Yes, I love that. She was so smart to do that. And mind you, she was married anyway, and she still did it. Even if you were married, go ahead, give those kids your last name too if you want to, right? But especially if it is just a baby daddy, especially Braxton Lewis sounds really good together too. And Tawanda was really great. She named one of her children. She used her maiden name as the name for one of her children, right? So Braxton Carter or something like that, right? So I thought that was really cool too. Allie says, I believe he should take her last name Fenty. And I actually think so too. I've seen, one of my friends here, he's Turkish. He married a French woman. He wants to take her name, or for them to just create a whole new name as a family as well. And I've had some friends from Ottawa who did that when they got married. They decided to just create a new last name together by merging their 2 last names, which I think is really cool. Ruby, hang on, girl. Ruby, let me zoom in on you. Ruby, did you have retinol or something when you did this? Vitamin C? Well, drop the skincare. What were you doing here that your skin is glowing so much? Okay, girl. I love it. I love a glowing skin. Wow. Love, 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 lovely. So Ruby says, both my girls have my husband's last name and also my last name, period. Let's go. Feminism 2025. Let's go. Load it up. Ali says, fake frenemy. Exactly. I don't know what it is that she has against Cynthia, but she's always looking for an opportunity to tear Cynthia down. And it's just weird. It's disgusting and it's creepy. Listen, if you have a friend like Kenya around you, be careful. Maybe consider, keeping your distance, because this is somebody that's just, listen, if you were drowning and she was the only one around, she'd watch you drown, then run back and tell everybody she tried to save you and she doesn't know what happened. That's what I feel about her. And people like that are terrifying. So be careful. Now, why don't we get into the Rita Ora story, y'all? Listen, I'm really curious to know what you guys feel about this. So Rita Ora is currently making the rounds, talking about how she proposed to her husband. What is his name? And I said husband like that so I can go up and look up his name. I don't even remember his name like that. His name is like what is it? Taika Waititi. He's some sort of like director or producer or something like that. She's the one who actually proposed to him, and she came out with the story, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So y'all let me know what you think about this love story that the two of them
down
have
on one
shared.
knee. You got down on one knee. Yeah. He was just like, what is happening? And I was like, oh no. I asked him to marry me. So how did you do it? Did you do it like a proposal or? Yeah. Oh, got the rings made. I want to know everything. I rented out like a hotel room in Palm Springs or something, like a really nice fancy one. Filled it up with balloons, heart-shaped balloons, and a heart-shaped. Wait, okay? Because I'm basically doing what I would have wanted from my... He walks into the room and he's like, what the hell? Is it Valentine's Day? I'm like, no! Anyway, get down on one knee. You got down on one knee? Yeah. Oh my God, this is so good. Yeah, I think it's cool. This is girl power. That's what I mean. He was just like, what is happening? And I was like, oh no. You knew he wasn't going to say no, right? I actually didn't. I didn't know. Really? No. I was very like, maybe he doesn't want it. Maybe he's okay to just be in a relationship, which was fine with me too. But I just wanted to like lock him down. Lock it down. You know what I mean? And I did. And he said, absolutely. What the hell? Get up. And I was like, oh my God. And from then on, it was, I think, just a couple months. And then we got married just at home. It was beautiful.
So I know this is going to be controversial. So please let me know what you think about this story. Something that stuck out to me about it was that to me, it's not really a proposal that sounds like it was made for him. It sounds like it was like her projecting what she wanted for herself. And she said as much, right? She's like, I basically did what I would have wanted for my proposal. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't imagine a man dreaming of, a woman being down on one knee to propose to him, having balloons and flowers. Like, to me, this sounds, very feminine, like something that you would do for a woman, right? Like if you want to propose to a man, like, what is he into, right? Like, it just, to me, this doesn't feel, and I don't know the guy, right? I did hear that he doesn't brush his teeth though, but that's besides the point. I would imagine something different, right? Based on the guy's personality or whatever. To me, this sounds like a promposal or a classic proposal for like a woman. So that alone was kind of odd to me. And then on top of that, y'all know how I feel about this. I personally, there were so many things I would rather do than to propose to a man, including being waterboarded, getting a wedgie, having my hair catch in the middle of a roller coaster and my like being decapitated that way, like something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not into it, to be honest with you, but no judgment to the ladies who are. And to me, there's like another, like, if she like proposed like, hey, what if we got married? And then they did it. Okay. But the fact that she did this whole like girly proposal, she got down on one knee too. Like, that's just so mortifying to me. I'm sorry. It's giving humiliation ritual to me personally. I'm just saying. And no, Star, we still got plenty more. So do not worry. And we're so happy to have you here, boo. RL says no to proposing to the husband, period. I couldn't do it. Ruby, wow, she gave you such a glow. Oh my goodness. Like, it's like piercing through the screen. Good morning, Kahara. Nice to see you. So happy you made it. Bree says Taika did Thor. Oh, really? So he does quite a lot of films. Thanks for putting us on game, Bree. Thank you. Did you hear the rumor he doesn't brush his teeth too? Like, somebody said, I think it was on Reddit. Tanisha says, absolutely not. This reminds me of this Oprah network show called Marry Me Now. The women proposed to their men and they were married the same day. It aired. Oh my God. Do they last? Because to me, I don't know. I feel like I really do believe in the old adage, if he wanted to, he would. Like, I can't. I feel like there's a natural balance to things, and this throws the balance all the way off. Can I tell you something? It's a little bit vulgar. So if you don't want to hear something vulgar, please close your ears. If there are children around, perhaps some earmuffs. when she was telling the story about how, look how good my nose looks. So when she was telling the story about how she like brought flowers and balloons in the hotel room and she got down on one knee, I said, oh girl, did you bend him over the couch and do him from behind afterwards? Because that's what the story is giving. Like, really, girl? Like, I'm sorry, this story is just so shocking to me, right? Like, I got down on one, girl, stand up. You know, I can't. I can't do it. You know, to me, I wouldn't be able to look at him after that. I wouldn't, you know, if I had to do all that, I wouldn't be able to look at him like, ew. That would give me the ick, right? Listen, and I'm old fashioned. I am, and I admit it, you know, like, come on. You know, I feel like one thing like, hey, we should get married. Okay. But to go through these lengths, right? It's a bit much for me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brie, but this is just one thing I will never, ever, ever in my life do. Honestly, I feel like I'm about to break out in hives, just like, you know, talking about this story. Jesus. And yes, Star, please, ladies, don't do it. Don't do it. Bree says, sorry, but there's no man that needs to be locked down that bad, period. Him not brushing his teeth is crazy. Exactly. Listen, one thing about men, they will humble you, they will embarrass you more often than not. So do not propose to them. Kahara says, like on the Gilmore Girls where Laura Lee proposed to Luke. Absolutely not. You know, and they're trying to dress it up as empowering and stuff, but I'm sorry. No, absolutely. I find this disempowering, actually, if anything. It definitely won't last. Yeah, I don't think so. The last time a guy was talking about the chick proposing to him, who was it? That beautiful girl, Jody, and that guy, the guy from Dawson's Creek. Like, you know, and look how long that lasted, a whopping 24 months or whatever it is. And now they're fighting like cats and dogs. Don't do it, y'all. Oof. I'm sorry, Rita, but oh, girl. Anyway. Listen, before I break out into hives, and look at me, I'm sweating through my dress, you guys. Wow, I've got the fan on me and everything, and I'm sweating through my dress. Jesus. Let's talk a little bit about Love Island, okay? So I know a lot of you guys are Love Island fans, so I did find this really good website to watch it on without pop-ups or anything. So I'm really kind of like geeked about it. I'm not all the way caught up, but I did watch last night's episode, and there were some things I wanted to talk to you guys about regarding that episode. So over here in the purple, you've got Shelly, and then on the right in the black and white, you've got Huda, right? And in between them is a man that they're currently fighting over named Ace. So there was a challenge where you're supposed to like passionately make out with somebody, and Huda really went in on Ace. She was supposed to be besties with Shelly. Shelly was, you know, talking to Ace. They were trying to like build a relationship together. And Shelly feels as though Huda took things too far. She backstabbed her, especially because apparently there was another guy that Shelly was interested in before that Huda kind of like made a move on. So now with two different men, it's not looking too good, right? And I gotta be honest, this Ace guy, he's cute and everything, and this is what I find when I'm watching these shows, whether it's Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, Love Island, whatever, I don't know what it is. And I'm a straight woman, unfortunately, but I feel like the women are always so gorgeous, like 10 out of 10. The women on Love Island, y'all, they are stunning, most of them, right? Most of them are so freaking beautiful. And then by contrast, to see them fighting over these men, there's one man, I'm sorry, but he's built like a 12-year-old boy. You know, he looks like a little boy. Like a lot of the men, like they look like boys, like they're just not good looking or whatever, right? So it really hurts me to see beautiful women crushing out. Like at least this one is cute or whatever, but he still has this like young look to him or whatever that I personally cannot stand in men. So I'm like, oh my God, girls, really, like you're baddies over this. Like, Huda, you're about to backstab your friend over this, please, you know? Anyway, does anybody else think that Shelly looks like a dark-skinned version of Halle Bailey? Like, that's what I kept thinking when I was like watching her this episode. I'm like, she reminds me of somebody. She reminds me, it's Halle Bailey. And one last note on this episode, Huda, I find her to be a little bit of an energy vampire so far. She's just constantly crying and moping. You know, she's crying over the way she treated her friend. Yet by the end of the episode, she's continuing to do the thing that she just did to her friend that she's crying over. You know what I mean? So, it's giving fake. It's giving just a big drain that just zaps the energy out of her room. Everything always has to be about her and whatnot. I'm not feeling it so far, but beautiful girl. I really love her eyebrows. But yeah, come on. I don't think she's going to win this show. A lot of people really don't like her. And I thought people were just like, you know, being mean, choosing a target, but I can see why people don't really care for her too much. Hey, Kelly, it was Rita Ora, who proposed to her husband, Taika. And it was this big elaborate like proposal that, I'm sorry, gave me secondhand embarrassment for her. Sweet Bonjour says, I would never propose, period. Listen, I can't do it. Sure, that man would embarrass me after. Exactly. Like, and he wouldn't waste no time either in doing that. And I'm sorry, Jaleesa, it's true. Ali says that late night ballerina Huda should. Ali, you are killing me tonight. Late night ballerina. That almost went over my head too. Should have been sent home. And this is their karma for keeping her, period. Listen, I think she's going to be one of the next to go. You know, I think producers want to keep her on as long as possible because she's the one that people are really buzzing over. I think the one who's going to win is that cute girl. I think she's multiracial and she's got these green eyes, something papaya. She's so cute, so funny. She's in her own little world. I think that she's going to be the one to win this. Like he says, I will die. Yes, and they were so beautiful together. Alondria, wow, she was breathtaking with her cheeks and everything. And that's why I decided to kind of like, tip over and watch. And now they're already over. I was so pissed. I love them. They were so, so, so cute together. I do like Nick overall. And I like him with that new girl as well that he's kind of paired off with. So I hope that goes well. I like that girl too. She seems like a really sweet girl as well. So hopefully that goes well. But I was really hoping for him and Alondra. Like they look good together. The fire between them. Oh, you had to put that out with a fire hose. Hey, Catherine. She says, yes, absolutely. Elsa, same. Thought it was a Sun-Kissed version of Halle Bailey. Right? Like she's so beautiful. Both girls are really, really, really beautiful. Oh, you're from Spain, Ruby. So I'm not gonna say your name like that, Ruby. Let me tell you guys this, and don't tell whoever owns YouTube that I told you this information. Write this down. If you're looking for a website to watch like pretty much anything that's on TV, and it's not going to give you all these pop-ups, all these viruses, go to Flixer.su. That is FLIXER.su. And I'm currently watching that from France without a VPN. So I imagine, Ruby, that you'll be able to watch that from Spain as well. And everything is on there. I think I'm going to be even able to watch Traders. I haven't looked yet. And y'all know I watched A Bronx Tale on that. I had been looking everywhere for A Bronx Tale, and I finally got to watch it on that. So I'm really happy about that too. Catherine says, my favorite part of the episode was when Alondra just walked off on Huda to make a toasty. Yes, that was so funny too. Huda's like, oh, like I'm not a bad person. I don't feel like, girl, shut up. Let me go make my damn toasty. Like, you can't be serious, right? I'm happy that she doesn't take her and her mess seriously. Not outbreak, Nick. So it was a cold sore. It wasn't just like a bite. Oh, damn. I thought these people got tested before they went on these shows. Because to me, that feels like a big deal. Just saying. Hey, Tyrell, happy Canada Day. How are you celebrating? Tyrell's my fellow Canadian. Are you going to Timmy's today? Think of me, please. Please think of me. They're not even fighting over him. Huda doesn't even want him. I think Ace wants Huda. Really? So why is she entertaining it? Like, don't entertain it. Like, don't go in and do the big makeout and stuff when your friend likes him. Ali says every time they have all those kissing challenges, yeah. Honestly, I don't like that. That's one thing. And they did this on Too Hot to Handle a lot. Like, I can't stand when they make all these people just make out with each other. I don't think it's kind of disgusting to me. Whether people have cold sores or not, just like all standing around making out with each other like that. I'm sorry, it's gross. And then like dry hump, like I have to like fast forward through these scenes. I cannot stand those scenes. I'm sorry. Oof. Oh. So Huda, for the episode, she kept on just trying to make everything about like how sad she was and her moping and stuff. And so, like somebody else mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm going to see who mentioned it. It was Catherine. Alondra was just not into it. She's like, listen, girl, I'm going to go off and make something to eat. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this. Right. So I do think that people are getting the vibe that she kind of sucks the air out of the room. She's a bit of a drama queen and whatnot. And some people are just not feeling that. And hey, struggle is real. Nice to see you. Listen, we still got more show. So don't you worry. Those of you who are popping in late, we've got more show. So don't worry. And you can always join the Playback Posse a little bit later on too. We're going to wrap this up with a Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. BY says, I wish that Huda was dumped instead of Jeremiah. And listen, I'm so late. I don't even know who Jeremiah is, y'all. I'm going to like go back and like retrospectively look so that I have more context on what's going on now. So this says, I need Alondra, Shelly, Ace, TJ, Iris. And I love the name Iris, by the way. There's a song by the Goo Goo Dolls, or is it the Gaga Dolls? I don't know. Called Iris. That's one of the most beautiful songs to me. It's such a beautiful name. And who else? Off My Goddamn Villa. Shelly too? Damn. I agree with that. And a laundrette too. Why don't you like a laundrette tea? Wow. Listen, I'm going to go back and watch and see what that's all about. I'm excited. Hi, Nadia. 39. Yes, we're not far back. We're not far behind. We're 36 here in Paris. I am sweating through my dress. I'm sweating through my scalp. Oh my God. But I'm loving it at the same time. Like, this feels like summer. It's summertime. I think Shelly, and I think so too, Jaleesa. I agree with that as well. Tyrell says, Happy Canada Day. And I was wondering how much it would cost to ship. Oh, Tyrell, I could cry. She wants to ship me to Morton's. Oh, this is so sweet. This is so sweet. Listen, it would go stale, unfortunately, I think. But this is so Canadian of you. Thank you. Listen, it's Morton's like care package. Listen, I was so happy when I got my fix in Mallorca too. So I think that's going to carry me over for a couple months. And then I will be back in Canada, hopefully in the fall. Listen, visa stuff, right? Hopefully in the fall, winter to get strung out on all my tubbies as well. Yes, I'm happy you love Amaya as well. She's just the sweetest thing. She really is. I really love her. Alex says, I would have flat out refused, period, because I've never had so much. Exactly. I can't do it. And even if somebody has nothing, I can't do it. I don't want to make out with people for no reason. Like, ew, and I think that's why these reality shows, they like people that are younger. Because listen, maybe if I were younger, I might have been a little bit more hot in the pants, right? But now, as an older woman, I'm not doing it, right? I'm just not. Ali says, wait, I just read this. Star says, I took a trip to Texas and Did you go? And Acacia, did you hear that? You have Tim Hortons in Texas, apparently. I heard even New York has it. I recommend an iced cappuccino. I recommend jalapeno bagel, cream cheese and bacon, or a sun-dried tomato bagel. Oh my God, stop. You guys are gonna make me cry. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. And happy Canada Day to you too, BYs. And you know what, Jaleesa, listen, I think you've got good insight. Sometimes you see things before I do. So I'm more excited for the rewatch to go back and, see why you say some of these things, right? So I'm really, really, really excited. And yes, struggle is real. You're going to love it. So guys, hopefully you wrote down the website I told you about. Let me say it for you guys again, just in case some of you guys are joining us. There is a website where I'm using to watch things on Peacock, which is a streaming service that I do not have because I cannot use it from here. It is called Flixer.su, and it's completely free. Free 99. FLIXER.su. Listen, don't tell the folks over at YouTube that I told you this, okay? Just saying. Hey, Roxanne, nice to see you, boo. You caught me on a good day. You caught me on Canada Day. Now, you guys, why don't we get into a recap of what happened on this weekend's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't have too much to say about this one either. There's just some things that jumped out to me. For example, did anybody else kind of come to the conclusion or get the vibe that Portia and Lauren were strongly hinting that Londi's passing was at her own hands? They were saying something about how Londi was in serious distress. She was on the phone with Lauren, and then I don't remember the exact verbiage that was used, but it led me to believe that Londi couldn't take it anymore. And, this whole storyline, it just, it's really, really sad to hear. Again, when I watched Londi on Portia's family show, like, she seemed like such a sweet person who wanted everybody to get along, who was kind of the glue and the organizer behind this family as well, and who also had some feelings of just like, not feeling accepted, feeling like people kind of cast her aside sometimes because of like, her looks or something like that. So I do worry that, some of this stuff was going on with her towards the end of her life. And I find that to be so sad. She was a really lovely, really beautiful person. And, it makes me really sad. Nadia says, oh, wow, Atlanta, so sad about Londi. I found it strange how Portia wasn't honest about what happened, right? I feel like that might have been what actually wound up happening, but I'm not 100% sure. Very, very sad stuff, and I feel terribly for Lauren as well, because she was on the phone with Londi when that happened, right? So to me, when somebody says, my cousin passed away, during her last moments, she was in distress, on the phone with my sister, and then suddenly she wasn't here anymore. To me, what other reasonable conclusion is there to come to other than that, right? And there still is stigma surrounding mental health problems, surrounding suicide and things like that. So I do imagine that might be one of the reasons why Portia or her family do not want to come outright with that information, or maybe they're just protecting her privacy or something else. But I'm just saying that is a conclusion that I came to. Nadia says Londi held the family's name on stand. She did a lot of charity. Exactly. Their grand uncle did something for the Black community. Right. Like she was always there keeping his name alive, Hosea Williams and everything. So just such a beautiful person inside and out. And it's so sad to hear. Acacia, if you ever get the opportunity, try it out. You'll see why I'm obsessed with it. You really will, especially iced cappuccino. Jaleesa says, Shelly is annoying me. She's fake as F. We can tell she's just there for money and popularity. Alondra is boring. Iris is boring. Andrea boring. Damn, Jaleesa, you are a tough critic. Damn. Wow. I have to go back and watch it all. And it looks like B Wise is coming to the same conclusion as well. Rest in peace, Laundry. I'm so not Laundry. Rest in peace, Londi. So sad. And that butterfly comment, Portia, Portia, sometimes she's just playing, right? She's not serious, thinking that butterflies are trained and they come back to their owner, that people own these things. Like, sometimes she's just taking the piss. So I did find that to be a rather funny moment for her. You guys, after that, what happens? Angela, she goes and talks to a marriage therapist. I'm sorry, but I don't see it for Angela and Charles. I could see them putting in a couple other, a few more years, but I don't see this like as a lifelong thing. At least for her sake, I hope it's not, because it looks absolutely miserable. It makes me sad to see women staying around in like miserable marriages with men who look like they checked out years ago. It feels like she's the only one fighting for this thing. It feels like he could take her or leave her. And that's a very sad place to be in after 8 years of marriage, especially with a man who already cheated on you. How is it that like you cheated on me, yet I'm over here crawling on my hands and knees, using bubblegum, sticks, and glue to try and keep our marriage together, and you don't care? Like, I would be damned before I found myself in that position. And unfortunately for Angela, I do think that there might be some financial reasons behind this as well, because she has all of their money, and mainly her money, tied up in real estate investments. And unfortunately, the real estate market is not doing too great, right? And so she bought 3 multi-million-dollar properties. She put more money into renovating them, hoping to flip them, but they're not selling. So now she's stuck with all of these mortgages. She's going under on these mortgages. She was asking her husband for a lot of money to help keep the things afloat, but he stopped giving her money. And so now she's behind. And Phaedra let us know later on that her homes are in foreclosure as well. So that made me sad for her. Obviously, this put a big strain on her already strained marriage, especially because Charles warned her against these investments. Here's the thing. It doesn't sound like she's a seasoned, real estate investor, flipper, whatever you want to call it, developer. So I don't know why she went in so hot. You're supposed to start off slow. Start off with one property, try and see if it works, and then move on to the next. She should not have moved so quickly with this. So I feel badly for her, and I hope the best for her. At the end, they say that she was able to sell like one property, but 2 went into foreclosure. So then what do you really gain, right? Like not much, right? She still came out like under, which sucks, right? She was just trying to do something to make some money. Like, her mindset was in the right place, right? Of making your money work for you. It's just she didn't go about it in the right way, unfortunately. And then Shamia did some sort of like a showcase presentation where she was singing and dancing. I wish she would let go of these matronly hairstyles, because this season I forgot she was even like a baddie. Like Shamia, when she has her hair like, in a different, it doesn't even have to be long, right? Like in a different style, even if it's like a cuter bob, like she looks good, like stunning, really, really beautiful, Barbie doll beautiful. But she's been obsessed with these kind of like elderly, like, church auntie styles all season. And I'm sorry, like it's just so goofy on her. Some people, they pull it off, but on her, it kind of looks goofy. So that was kind of disappointing. And then she has a confrontation with Britt backstage because Britt was trying to turn Portia against her by spilling the tea that she was spilling about Portia. And per usual, she plays victim. She deflects. She lies as if she wasn't running around talking about her bestie behind her back. And it's annoying. Shamia, we saw you on camera talking about your bestie all season long. We know you told Britt that stuff. Like, don't turn around and try to play victim here. It's annoying. We're over it, right? And then Britt, per usual, though, she takes things to a very ugly place, right? When she was fighting with Kelly, she took things to the abortions and whatnot. When she was fighting with Kenya, she took things to the guns. And now here in her fight with Shamia, she takes things to the level of bringing up Shamia's sick daughter. She's like, oh, like, were you really like sad over your sick daughter because you went to Miami and you took some shots? Girl, what? Why would you even say something like that? Like, that's a really horrific thing to say to somebody. Like, she's just so unwell. She's so weird, right? And then Shamia called her a pill popper, just like Kelly called her. So I'm starting to believe that's the case. I thought, low key, I thought her husband was potentially, maybe, allegedly, potentially a pill popper. So I was surprised that they're calling her that, because she doesn't give me that vibe, but the husband seems like off, right? She also called her a lady of the night and a streetwalker. So it's looking more and more like people really do in those circles think that Brit is some sort of an escort. So there might be like a little smidgen of a truth to that now at this point, with everybody calling her that. I don't think it's coming out of nowhere. Similar to Marlo Hampton, right? I don't think that these stories come out of nowhere about people. And then Brit also did have another beef backstage with Kelly, where Kelly was talking about like followers or something on social media, and Brit says, oh, like, yours are fake. You gained 80,000 overnight. Kelly doesn't actually deny it, though. She just says, oh, you're watching my page like a stalker, like a hater. Girl, deny it then if it's untrue. But she didn't. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting, right? Just saying. Tadisha says, I like Angela and everything she brings to the show. However, Charles doesn't love or like her, right? And liking your partner is very important too. He barely wants to be on RHOA. He's just supporting her. I think this is a parting gift to her. I'm sorry, this marriage is not going to last. And in my opinion, and I think that she will be better off for it. Ramster said she needs to start pouring into herself instead of this, like, trifling husband of hers. Ramster says they've canceled the Housewives of Amsterdam for being so boring. They did that to the Canadians once too. Housewives of Toronto was a snooze fest. Vancouver, it got really ugly. I think they could have like revamped and continued with Vancouver though. Y'all, the lore behind Housewives of Vancouver, like one of the ladies, Jodie Clayman, her daughter got with like this gangster, and like he and his friends were shooting everybody up in Vancouver. He got shot while he was with her. He left her in the car, and she got shot too, actually. And she was in the hospital and everything. Like, he ran away, dude. And then she later had a baby by him. And then I think he OD'd on coke or something like that, allegedly. And then Jodie, like, she went bankrupt. Like, it was, I'm sorry, but Jodie's karma came back heavy for her, right? And then she went through all this drama with her baby daddy, ex-husband, whatever. I think she lost custody. It's, the stuff that happened off screen was, more enticing than on screen. Nadia says she loves him more than he loves Angela. That's the vibe they give on social. And just like you said, the finances, probably she made mistakes with the investments with the wrong people. It's kind of low-key giving Robin and Juan as well, right? Without the townhouse. Nadia says, me too. The hairstyle is funny. She's a beautiful woman, but that elderly auntie. Exactly. Shamia, please, please, please. Like they say in French, il faut mettre ta beauté en honneur. You have to find things that flatter you, that bring out your beauty. Like, there's some people where you look at them, you're like, wow, you're so beautiful. If only like you adjusted this, a color that was more flattering for you, a haircut or length that was more flattering for you, like something else, you know what I mean? Like, she needs to. Like, she's a really, really beautiful woman. Kahara says, Angela said on Carlos King that she had an investor who she was going to be working with. And after she bought all the, no. It looks like she trusted that investor too much and did not sign proper paperwork. With proper paperwork, she would have been able to sue the pants off that person and mitigate some of, the losses as well. Damn. And I agree, Tadisha. And yes, you know what? Speaking of B-Wise, at the end, it comes out that the guy who put that stuff out there about Charles cheating and whatnot, he's now saying that he was put up to it by Angela herself and Drew. It's this whole thing. I'm still not sure, but the storyline, I think it did come from Angela. I think Angela was grasping at straws for something. And I think she knows that her marriage is imploding and she was using the situation. And I do think that this moment was damaging to her already very damaged marriage. The way that Charles kicked that guy out, that she went and, overruled that to have him back in. And they were yelling at, I was like, girl, this is not going to be good for you. He already can barely tolerate you. Now you're disrespecting him in public on camera. Count your days. Do you know you have 30 minutes? Very, very, very sneaky indeed. And I agree. Listen, Angela brought it. She bled out for this season. And, she will be rewarded with another season. And I think she will also be rewarded with a divorce. Listen, I hate when this dog starts talking like that. It's very annoying. Now, did you guys see that scene, by the way, where Britt was touring private jets with her husband? Listen, these people cannot pay to feed people at events. They didn't even pay to have proper gift bags for people at these events. We saw them touring Bentleys and whatnot. We know they're being sued for not paying their event planner, right? Or for the venue. And now they're touring private jets and touring Bentleys. They are such posers. They are posers. You know what I think this probably was, this photo? You know how like some influencers and celebrities were exposed for renting jets by the hour for like photo shoots, and they don't actually go anywhere in it because they can't afford to fuel it up. That's the vibe that they give, right? Crazy. Now, there's a moment between Phaedra and her like young boyfriend that grossed me out so much. It was like them like in the beginning stages of their dating. So her boyfriend is much younger than her, right? And she was telling him to call her mommy. I'm like, girl, you're trying to bone this man. You've got your own children and you're telling this man to call you mommy? Huh. I think it's wild when like men want this out of women. And I think it's the reverse is also wild too. It's just so fascinating to me, right? I'm like, okay. Huh. Let's unpack this at another time though, because I'm actually already over time here. I have a video that I have to shoot for my channel members, and then I am going to be going to the gym. For anybody else who wants to listen to this, but there was a podcast, part 2 of Lala Kent and Kale's conversation, and Kale spilled quite a bit of tea, and she was antagonizing Chris. You know what? Actually, while I have y'all here, I do have a question for you. Hang on. Maybe you can help me with something. I might be getting a little bit long in the tooth because I don't know what they were referring to. These young whippersnappers. They were calling Chris Lopez a 90-10. What is that? I know what a 304 is, but what's a 90-10? Because that's what they were calling him, and they were throwing all kinds of shade on him and stuff. So that was really interesting to me. And there's a lot of other stuff that I wanted to talk about too, but that's a video that I'm about to film for my channel members later. If you guys want to join, feel free to hit the join button for that. So another thing that I found interesting about the finale was how Portia couldn't make it to Shamia's showcase, but she could make it to Angela's event, her gala thing. I was like, huh. The cracks are still showing in her relationship with Shamia there. And I thought it was crazy that Angela decided to honor Portia at her gala. Like the girl who said she would F your husband, and you and your husband are going to stand there and give her an award. I think Portia's a witch. I think she dabbles in witchcraft because her ability to have people acting stupid with a smile on their face as she disrespects them and pisses on their face is crazy to me. The stuff she did to Candy alongside Phaedra, like they were both in on that. And Candy's friends with Portia and stuff and whatnot. Her fight with Cynthia, where she got on top of Cynthia on the boat, and then Cynthia had to kick her off and get violent and out of character, and Cynthia's real cool with her. And now this too, I'm like, she's got to be dabbling in witchcraft. Or, that or people are extremely stupid. I don't know what it is, right? But very, very, very weird, very, very stupid. But I was embarrassed for Angela during that scene. Like, what? Never. I'm going to stand here with my man that you're talking about you want to F and giving you an award? Insane. Anyway, like I said, y'all, there was a rumor that Angela was behind that stunt. But in which case, she knows the writing is on the wall. She knows that, he's on his way out of that marriage. Nada says, that would be very sad. Campfire did a review, I thought, when she was recording the man, and he said he wasn't getting paid. I don't know if he was getting paid or not, but like he said recently, I'll have to find the video for you, but he's kind of saying that she and Drew put him up to it. The whole thing, like they call Phaedra the Godfather. I was like, the Godfather? What is it with all these dramatics? What are you talking about? Can't she afford the jet? No, she can't. She cannot afford the jet. They're just posers. They're posers. They're phonies. Fake. Oh, right. Nadia says, yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm sorry, y'all. I know some people are into this stuff, but this stuff creeps me out. Kind of creeps me out. Dawn, oh, you missed the beginning. Listen, for those of you who are just joining us, did you like the video? If you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. So if you're just joining us, listen, I talked about the date. He lied about his age, Dawn, by more than a year or two. he looked good, right? Like he looked good. He had good energy and stuff. However, and he was honestly, this guy would have been my perfect type for real, for real, for real. Like everything about it was perfect. We had a great dinner. And then we went to this, he chose this really beautiful, cool bar as well, too. Like he has really good taste. And, we're having a drink, right? I'm having a mocktail. And, then I don't know how it even came up, but he's like, oh, by the way, like, I lied about my age. I was like, huh? And then I think it's because I was asking him about his friends, because his friends look so old. I was like, so, like, do you like to hang out with people that are, like, much older than you or something? And he goes, oh, no, they're, like, my age. I was like, huh? Because these people look like, listen, they look like they were, on a pension. And I'm like, this is not possible, right? Because his actual age is not even all that old, right? But his friends, like, these are people who just let themselves grow. Like, they look like 65, right? So I was like, well, what are you hanging out with all these 60? You're dynamic, you're this, you're that. So he's like, no, like, I lied about my age. I'm actually like, I don't know if it was 5 or 7, but it's like 5-ish years older, blah, blah, and all this stuff. I was like, all right. And then he told me some stuff about like, what he's looking for. And it just doesn't align with what I'm looking for. But otherwise, I was really disappointed because, again, we connected so well. Everything about him, especially in person, was like, totally my style. But yeah, I think, honestly, even more than the age is the lying about the age and the fact that we're not looking for the same things. Jessica says he wants to play house, essentially. And I'm not doing that. Jessica says, I had to look it up. LOL. Thank you. Our clerk is here. Thank you, Jessica. A 90-10 is a therapy term where you disproportionately respond to a current situation by only 10%. See, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, so does that mean like this is like a therapy thing? Like the therapist says like, okay, like kind of like, because they were talking about gray rocking him. I'm like, and like they're like exes and their baby daddies. I'm like, is that what it is? Like this is a toxic person in therapy speak? Like, I didn't really get it, right? I guess so. BY says Phaedra brings nothing to the show. I agree. We tried. And she's just, she's kind of there, but like not in the same way that Cynthia is there, where Cynthia gets along with people. She moves the storyline. Like Phaedra came taking shots at people, right? And that wasn't cool. Although I don't believe that she was behind this thing anymore. Nadia says, so related. And those who are younger are more adult most of the time and cute, right? And yeah, they look so old, Acacia. I was like, because typically, when you're dating someone, you're like, oh, like, let me see what their friends are like, could I like, fit in with their friend group? And then I'm looking at these people like, no, like, absolutely not. I would look like, a nurse to all these people. The nurse, he fell down again. Come on. But honestly, these people, though, they look so old for their age. They're not that old. They're in their 40s, right? But again, they look like not even like a good 60. They look like frail 60. I don't know what happened there. But he looked good. Like I told you guys, listen, this one looked good. Don says, yes, I listen, you know what? I'll tell you more about this later. I'll tell you all more about this. Put a pin in it for now, and I'll tell you all more. Listen, your girl is going to be having a hot girl summer, let's just say. And one of my favorite journalists, actually, he like sent me a thing to match with me, and I'm like, yes. He's one of my favorite journalists here in Paris, and that's as much detail as you'll get for now. And I'll keep you guys posted on that. He's really big. Jessica says, basically, they overreact, so yeah, could be toxic for sure, right? I think so, too. So again, don't forget, you guys, I'm about to film that video for my channel members. Kale spilled some more tea on her parenting stuff and the Chris stuff, the hobby stuff, whatnot on a podcast. And I'm going to be recapping that for you guys. Nadia says, do y'all think Apollo and his wife will be? No, absolutely not. Aren't they divorcing? Like she left him finally. She left him. It's over. Absolutely over. And yes, Acacia, yup. So that's pretty cool. He's not exactly like my type, really. But listen, I'm thinking outside of the box these days. And so we'll wait and see. I just like his work and stuff. So I think, even just to hang out would be, kind of cool. Or just have a fun date. Anyway, you guys, that does it. Listen, I am sweating everywhere. I need to get up and like fan myself off, wipe myself off or something because I'm sweating. Listen, 36 degree, which I guess is like 99 for you guys in the US. No AC, just a fan to my thigh here. I'm sweating. I need to freshen up, and then I'm going to do my channel member video. Okay, you guys, take good care. If you enjoyed today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, and shout out to my playback posse as well. See you in the comment section. Have a great day, everybody. Bye, and happy Canada Day again to all of my fellow Canadians. Eat some poutine, eat some Tim Hortons for me. I was going to say shop at Hudson's Bay, but I think they closed down. go to Shoppers Drug Mart. I don't know. Bye guys. Take care.